Sam Jones, and we have got an amazing night of action for you, as always.
We sure do. We are on the road to Wrestle Rage, and I tell you what, this Wrestle Rage trip stopped off at the Elk Grove VFW, and what exciting action we got here tonight.
We are going to see, as you always see on Inside the Ropes, it's defended here all the time, the television title. But before we get to that, we have amazing tag team action.
You better believe it. We've got Diamond Steel, the man from the Sunset Strip in Hollywood, California. We've got Eric Freedom teaming up as they go against the Sinmates. And you know, we found out later, but you know what? Why don't we watch this match? Let's find all the stipulations after this.
We'll see the match. Big announcement after. Stay tuned. Here we go. Let's go to the ring.
It's been suspected that he was responsible, that the Sinmates were responsible for the attack on Diamond Steel that left him out of commission last week in Elk Grove Village, or last week in Fox Lake. I'm sorry, we are here in Elk Grove Village, and we are going to see if the Sinmates will get their retribution for the loss, or if Diamond Steel will get his for the assault.
Right now, Rough Cut Diamond Steel is getting the worst of it, and if they were responsible for his takeout last week, he may still be hurting a little bit from that.
From last I heard, his back was injured. He was unable to compete last week. Of course, X-Con, Dayhawk, two of the biggest, meanest individuals here in POW Entertainment, and especially in tag wrestling. Both decorated tag team champions in their own right, as well as together. You know, the Sinmates, they're a very cohesive unit that is not often recognized. They were tag team champions. They have not held the belts in a while. They have had an unfortunate win-loss record, all things considered. But one cannot forget, you know, they love the violence. They love the brutality. Right now, they're getting the worst end of it at the hands of Eric Freedom and Diamond Steel. But with Xavier DeFaust again back in their corner, we'll see how he can help them rebound and whether or not they'll come out with the victory here tonight.
Right now, Eric Freedom and Rough Cut, they are in control, and they seem to have a little bit of an upper hand mindset.
Well, it's true, like I mentioned, the record of the Sinmates of late has not been the greatest. You know, we said it earlier in the night, there's something like 2-14, 2-13, I don't even know. You know, so of course, Diamond Steel and Eric Freedom, they know this. And they're going to look to exploit that weakness. But you have to remember, Diamond Steel, Eric Freedom, not a consistent tag team, you know, are not as familiar with each other in the ring as X-Con and Dayhawk. Side Russian leg sweep, tandem side Russian leg sweep right there by Eric Freedom and Diamond Steel. Gets the two, not enough to put Dayhawk away.
And as you said, X-Con and Dayhawk have had a long time tag team relationship before they became a part of Hellfire. I believe that their win-loss record before the Hellfire Symphony was formed was much better than it's been since that time. Whether that has anything to do with Xavier DeFaust's leadership or not, leaves a lot to be said. May just be that the group as a whole does not lead itself to their being able to win at this point.
Well, there you have a beautiful, excellent leg drop right to the back of the skull of Dayhawk. Of course, anyone who knows Dayhawk knows that trying to take him out by knocking him upside the head isn't going to be the best route. That guy's got a thicker skull than anyone I've ever seen. Thicker belly to boot. But right there, Diamond Steel now going for little bit of a shoulder wrench right there, putting a lot of pressure on Dayhawk. You know, if he can wear the man down, if he can take his arms away, you know, Dayhawk, he's very powerful. He's got a very thick base, you know, that he can use to manhandle most of his opponents. Of course, Eric Freedom, also a formidable opponent, you know, multi-time world champion, tag champion, very decorated in the business. So this is smart right here. You've got X-Con and Dayhawk taking Eric Freedom, singling him out.
Right there, Eric Freedom one step ahead.
And now Diamond Steel back in, putting them fists to use. And a meeting of, nope.
Oh!
X-Con and Dayhawk saw the move coming, blocked the meeting of the minds, and executed a little bit of a tandem headbutt there to Diamond Steel. Diamond Steel now down on the ground.
And that's where the long-time teamwork comes into play. They know what the other man is thinking.
You know, something to keep in mind when you've got two massive bald noggins like X-Con and Dayhawk. You know, they shave their heads, so there's that little bit of stubble. No matter how recently they shave, that little bit of stubble, which can add an extra level of abrasiveness to any headbutt executed.
You look at Dayhawk, brings to mind Boris Zukov with the large cranium.
And then you have his powerhouse tag partner, X-Con, former contender for the world title. I'm sure at some point in the future he'd like to get back into that swing, back into that singles run. You know, neither of these men would be content with just tag team success. They want to dominate the business. And if they can beat down Diamond Steel and the hardcore hippie Eric Freedom, that would be a huge step into getting their way here in POW Entertainment. Now Dayhawk putting that big boot in the corner.
Oh!
And Diamond Steel once again getting knocked upside the head. Dayhawk going up the ropes.
Oh, and a double throat thrust right to the throat.
That little bit of gravity pulling Dayhawk down, that little bit of momentum coming down from the ropes adds that much more power, that much more impact to that throat shot. All it takes is a split second of the blood being cut off to the brain, and that can be enough to daze your opponent. Diamond Steel definitely feeling the worst effects of those maneuvers right now.
Very, very easy to damage the trachea. Thin layer of bone there.
You know, right now it's been a very smart offense on the part of the Sinmates, taking out the head and neck of Diamond Steel. If you can continue that kind of abuse and keep your opponent worn down, double splash right there.
And that
Eric Freedom coming in to break it up. But if you can keep that kind of assault going, your opponent can't get their head in the game. They can't get their head in the game. They cannot score the victory.
Diamond has not had a chance to catch a breath.
Thought he might have had a shot there to recover. Right now, Dayhawk distracting the ref. And here they go, Xavier DeFaust and X-Con taking it to Diamond Steel.
Xavier with the boot right into the throat. Again, not allowing the man to breathe, cutting off the oxygen, cutting off the blood supply.
Now X-Con back in the ring. And there again, those shots to the head, to the neck, boxing the ears. You can actually force a lot of air into the ear canal with that clap to the head, and by doing so you can rupture eardrums, throwing off your opponent's equilibrium. You know, I am amazed by the intelligence of the assault here on the part.
Trying to rev up the engine.
I have no idea what to say about that. Starting up his partner like a lawnmower, and both men So we're probably looking at some 400 to 500 pounds right there, smashing into Diamond Steel like a freight train in the corner.
And then, once again, Xavier with the unholy Bible to the face of Diamond.
Now they are continuing the assault. Diamond Steel, you can see how fragile he is right now. He's been rocked. He's been knocked about. You know, his consciousness has to be at a subpar level right now. You know, as much as any headbanger's consciousness is usually present.
We've seen,
you know, he's got to make a tag. He has got to get to his corner. There he goes. Quick roll up. X-Con right there to break it up.
A little bit of disparity there between members of the Sinmates. Didn't seem to be on the same page there for just a couple of seconds. Diamond was almost able to make a little break out of it.
A double clothesline. Each man taking the other down. And now the referee starting his count. Dayok the first to show signs of life. Diamond Steel struggling to his corner if he can make the tag. But no, X-Con cuts him off. That could have been the break that Diamond Steel needed, but he just couldn't get to the corner.
Going for a double whip.
Diamond Steel duck under. Back
springboard.
Ropes. Now is his chance. He needs to rally. He needs to get to his corner. He needs to make that tag to the hardcore hippie Eric Freedom if this team is to survive. Dayok blocking his way, but Diamond Steel swinging with all his might.
He may not know where he is in that ring.
Headlock, a boot to... Taking both men down with the headlock, head scissors combo. He takes down the Sinmates, but now he's struggling to get back to his feet, to get to his corner. Maybe that took the last bit of energy out of him. That might have been just a little too much energy expended on that move right there. And if he can't get to the corner, if he can't make this tag, this match is lost.
Tag is made.
And Dayok, X-Con, both feeling the fists, the chops of the hardcore hippie Eric Freedom. X-Con thrown out of the ring, and now
Freedom calling for it. And he gets it.
Hippie shake. Will that be the finish? Xavier DeFaust up on the ring, distracting the ref. X-Con in the ring. Diamond Steel struggling to his feet. All four men now in the ring. All hell is breaking loose. There's X-Con with that Hell's Bible, knocking the hardcore hippie in the face. Diamond Steel is up, putting the boots to Dayok. Is he the legal man? Does the ref even know who the legal man is?
Oh!
Steel going for that second rope leg drop. He does not connect. Dayok is up. X-Con is up. Eric Freedom is out at ringside. This could mean the end right here. A tandem fisherman suplex. X-Con for the pin. 1, 2, and 3.
He's got it.
Your winners of this match, the Sinmates.
Sinmates showing excellent teamwork in this match.
Word from the commissioner just a few minutes ago. With this victory, you will now go to September 17th and face the POWW Entertainment Tag Team Champions.
I don't know who the commissioner is running this, but maybe he should look a little better at cheating pricks like this. Because I think rightfully we should get the title shot.